All right, y'all. Welcome to the 2-day dating challenge. This dating challenge is to help everyone who is in a state of knowing that they want love, that they want marriage, that they want to be in a relationship, but you feel like maybe you're dating wrong, maybe you don't have the right strategy, maybe you just need some guidance. So I wanted to provide a 2-day intensive just to kind of get us back on track. It is only the third month of the new year, and I know that some of us probably came in strong, but now things are kind of like meh. So I want to know where you guys stand when it comes to your dating life. If you feel like your dating life is thriving, give me a 10 in the chat. If you feel like not so much, give me a 5. And if you feel like it is dead, give me a 1. And let's just see where everybody is. All right, I see the ones coming in. I see the ones coming in. Okay. All right. So then you're in the right place. This is where you need to be. This dating challenge is going to help you ground yourself back into where you need to be in order to get going. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started. So what we'll be covering over the next 2 days, we'll be talking about defining your standards, your core values, conversation starters, relationship priorities, non-negotiables, online dating. And I know some of y'all are like, online dating. But let me tell you something. Online dating is still winning in 2024. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, but online dating is still winning in 2024. And then we'll also talk about some different dating scenarios that you can encounter and how to handle those encounters. So without further ado, one of the main reasons dating can seem like it is so hard is because your standards and your core values are often compromised. How many of you compromise your standards when you meet a guy and you're like, he's about 60% of what I want, but 40% of what I don't want. And you go ahead and you compromise on what it is that you truly want because that 60 seems like it's the best option, but it's actually not the best option. How many of you have compromised before? I can be honest and say that I've compromised because baby, I have. And what I found is that when I went ahead and I stopped compromising on my standards and my core values and stood on business when it came to what I truly wanted, dating got a lot easier for me. Okay. Dating got a lot easier for me when I decided that what I wanted and what I desired existed, and I didn't have to bend on my core values for anybody, right? And what you'll find is that when you get really firm and planted on your standards and your core values, you'll feel like dating is harder, but the reality of it is that you are actually in a good place. Okay. I want you to grab that mindset. If you have stood on your standards and you're finding like, oh my God, the more I stay on my standards, the more guys I meet that just aren't it, and that's starting to frustrate you, I want you to get out of that mindset and realize that it is a good problem to have. Okay. So some standards and some core values, just to kind of get your think tank going, right? Honesty and integrity. Being truthful and trustworthy forms the foundation for any healthy relationship. Okay. If you need to make sure honesty and integrity is a non-negotiable standard and core value when you're dating. How do you know if this person is being honest and being integral? You need discernment. You need discernment. And we'll talk about discernment a little bit more tomorrow because it's easier, believe it or not, to figure out if somebody is for you or if they're not for you when you can discern that earlier, right? If you find someone that is truthful and trustworthy for the beginning, healthy relationship. Respect. This is a big one. Valuing each other's opinions. Pay attention when you're getting to know somebody and how they react when you have a difference in opinion. That tells you a lot about them. When you put a boundary in place, that tells you everything you need to know about them. Make sure you still have individuality. It fosters mutual respect and admiration. Why? Because when you still have your own life and you have your own everything and you're not throwing all of your time to this new person because you like them, it's going to make them actually want you more because it's going to say, oh, wow, she's got her own life going on. She doesn't just like make her schedule open for me. She actually has her own life. I want to make sure that I'm actually a part of that. So he'll try to fit himself in where he can get in. Okay. Trust. No, sorry, we're on communication. Communication. Open, honest, and effective communication is key to understanding each other's needs, resolving conflict, and building intimacy. When you first start dating someone, you should be doing a lot of observing. And when I say observing, that means you should be doing less talking and more listening. How many of you get really excited when you meet someone new and you just become a yapper? If that's you, drop a 1 in the comments, because the reality of it is when you are excited because you've met somebody new, that excitement bleeds over to you oversharing. Okay. In the beginning, do more listening. Let him talk. Let him lead. Do more responding. Pay attention to how you're responding. Okay. Trust. Make sure that you are forming a foundation of trust. Empathy and compassion. Be able to understand and empathize where that person is coming from, even when you don't agree. If you have different perspectives, this is going to help, and if you can explain those different perspectives in a safe manner without conflict or raging voices, this is going to foster an emotional connection, okay? But you have to walk into dating with these things, okay? Number 6, equality and fairness. Treating each other as equals and sharing responsibilities openly, fairly promotes a sense of partnership and mutual respect. In the beginning, y'all are not married. Y'all aren't married, okay? So you want to make sure that there's equalness and that there's fairness. He's pursuing, you're responding. There's reciprocity, okay? Don't be the woman that just sit back and think that you were just here to receive, 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 receive. No, men need to feel like they are wanted as well. Commitment. Dedication and commitment to each other's growth and happiness and well-being is essential for longevity in a relationship. When you guys finally get past the dating phase and now you're ready and you're in a relationship, you want to make sure that you are committed and dedicated to seeing that other person grow. You're dedicated to seeing that other person happy. You're dedicated to the well-being of that other person. When you have two people doing this for each other, it breeds a foundation of, what's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for? Harmony, okay? Compatibility, this is a big one. This is a big one. I did a whole class on compatibility, and in that class for compatibility, do you guys have the same values? And when I say values, you want to think about some of these core values that we're talking about here. Are they honest? How do they value honesty, trust, communication? When it comes to goals, where are you both at in your relational and professional lives, your personal lives too? Is where does this person see their life going? Where do you see your life going? Are they going in the same direction? If they are not, abort mission. Like interests, you want to make sure you have some like interests. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to have everything in common and want to do all the same things, but there should be some like interests when you are dating someone. Pay attention to that. This is another biggie. Flexibility and adaptability. You want to learn, even while you are in this space of trying to get yourself back into the dating world, that you need to learn how to be able to adapt to changes and navigate life changes together to strengthen the bond. When you go into dating and then getting into a relationship and potentially being married, because marriage should always be the goal, you want to make sure that you don't have a me. Everything has to go the way that I want it. This is my plan. This is what I want, and nobody can change it. You need to learn how to be flexible and learn how to adapt. Now, does that mean throw all of your plans away? Absolutely not. Because again, when you find the right person, both of you are doing this for each other, because you're both committed to seeing both of you individually and collectively fulfill your goals and purpose in life. Okay. Joy and fun. This is the most important thing. Do you enjoy being in this person's company? How many of y'all have ever been dating somebody and you just really didn't enjoy their company? When they were around, you just didn't feel safe. You didn't feel good. You felt like you were tense all the time. You were real anxious. If that's you, let me know in the comments. I remember when I had took a hiatus from dating, and when I got back into the dating world, my first date was with a gentleman. And when I was on the date, I was so reserved and I was so just like kind of not welcoming to him. And I was like, that's not really my character. So I thought first, well, maybe it's because I haven't dated in a while. But no, it was my discernment in my body actually resisting that person because they ended up not being good for me. Fast forward, I ended up dating somebody else. Immediately, I felt calm in their presence. I felt joy. I felt like I could be myself. And it led to us creating more experiences together. And it made the relationship exciting. Okay. She said, not anxious, but something else and feeling I'm not myself. Yeah, if you can't feel like you can't be yourself around that person, that's not your person. If you don't have peace around that person, it's not your person. And you can learn this in the first conversation. This is why I'm really big when it comes to online dating, doing a FaceTime call, or even if you met the person in person, pay attention to how your body and your spirit is reacting to this person, because it's telling you a lot of what you need to know. Okay, so this is the biggest one. Y'all know we have the 2024 rules of engagement. And the first one is, of course, we are not compromising our relationship with God. Our relationship with God is a daily thing. Also, we're standing on business when it comes to our standards, okay? So when it comes to these standards and core values, you need to stand on business and not waver. Also, we are not bending on our boundaries. If you have a boundary when it comes to the level of closeness that you have with the man, or when he can call you, or where you're willing to go eat for a date, etc., stand on business when it comes to those boundaries. And then the last one, we're looking at our future love life through a healed perspective. We're not looking at it through the lens of what Johnny, Jacob, and Jim did to us over the years. We have released them, we forgive them, they are out of our lives, and we are done with that, okay? So then another key part to dating is knowing what your relationship priorities are. What do you want in a relationship? What are some things that are priority for you, and what don't you want? How many of you can say that you know what your priorities are? The things that that are necessary for you to feel loved in order for you to be in this relationship. Because that's key. Because when you're getting to know somebody, these things should be literally in the back of your mind. It should be in the back of your mind. Emotional connection. Emotional connection is vital. If there's no emotional connection, there's no way you're going to deepen the bond between the two of you. Quality time. You have to date somebody that makes time for you. So if somebody's saying, I'm too busy, I don't have time, guess what? They don't like you. They don't like you like that, because nobody's that busy. Men that like you make time. They find time. They'll jump through hoops. They'll cancel plans with other people. They'll rearrange their schedule to make time. But also, on the same token, make sure that you are available as well. Okay? Support and encouragement. You should be your man's biggest cheerleader, and he should be yours. Personal growth. We talked about this already, but make sure that you are dedicated and that you are committed to their personal growth, and they're committed to yours. And this has to be something that's, hey, our personal growth, our time away from each other, that's important to me when I think about being in a relationship with somebody. Family and community. Family and community. Some people might not think that this is important, but it is. It is a priority for me to know what your family values are, your relationship with your family. What are you doing in the community? How do you look? How are you giving back? Health and well-being. This is major. Make sure, one thing, if y'all know, I've just lost over 40 some odd pounds. I'm in the gym. I'm taking my health so seriously now, and it's almost June will make a year. The man that I'm going to be with, his health and well-being, his physical, emotional, and mental health is important to me. It's a relationship priority. Financial stability. Hello. Because we need a man that's going to be able to provide. And that's not that if the man doesn't have all of his money when you meet him, just kick him to the curb. But is he financially stable? Is he financially responsible? Are you financially stable? Are you financially responsible? Okay. Intimacy and romance. Intimacy doesn't have to be physical, because we are girls that are waiting till we get married. Okay. But you want to make sure that is still a priority. Even when you're waiting, that has to be a conversation down the line before you get married. Romance. How are you guys creating romance, or what romantic goals do you have for your relationship? How much of a priority is romance for you in a relationship? Shared goals and dreams. Make sure that you guys are aligned. The more that you are aligned, the easier it is. Respecting each other's boundaries. And that's pretty self-explanatory. Respect his boundaries, he'll respect your boundaries. Okay? And then the last thing that we're going to go over for today is you need to create a personalized list of non-negotiables and your preferences. And this is going to be a little bit of an overview. Make sure that these are things that you don't waver on. Respect, trustworthiness, emotional stability. It's a big one. If a man is emotionally unavailable, he is not available for you. If you are emotionally available, you are not available for him. What shared values, but what are your values? Sometimes people don't really look at religion and family and how you raise your kids and all of those different things. Think about the nitty-gritty things, like what you want to name your children and why you want to name them that. How you want to raise your children and why you want to raise them that way. Think about things like how you want to discipline your children, because these are things that you need to consider. Communication, boundaries, physical and emotional safety, mutual respect, personal growth, financial responsibility, loyalty, compatibility, health and well-being, parenting and parenting values. Create your own personalized list of non-negotiables and preferences. Okay, so let's just kind of go back a little bit. We went over standards and core values. Make sure that you know what those are for yourself. Relationship priorities. Create your personalized list of non-negotiables and preferences. And then tomorrow, we get into online dating and some other fun stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing for right now. And I'm gonna open up the floor for just a few questions, and then we're gonna hop off. But this is the foundation for you to start getting back into the dating game and doing it from a place where you feel secure enough and confident enough to go ahead and see this thing through.